New York Yankees fans, strap in, because what we're seeing right now might just be the turning point this team desperately needed. This season has been a roller coaster, full of highs and lows, and for a long time, the biggest question hanging over the Bronx was all about the pitching. And when you talk about pitching, you're not just talking about the bullpen or the mid-tier arms. You're talking about the core guys, the ones who are supposed to carry a team that's aiming for the playoffs, the ones who are supposed to set the tone and make everyone else better simply by showing up and being dominant. That conversation inevitably circles around one name more than any other: Max Fried. Max Fried, who started the season looking like the best version of himself we've ever seen, went through a stretch that tested the patience of every fan watching, and now, finally, it feels like he's emerging from that haze. When Fried first came into the Yankees rotation, there were a lot of expectations, but he was never really supposed to be the undisputed ace. The idea was that he would complement the likes of Garrett Cole, forming a top-end rotation that could strike fear into any lineup in the American League. But when Cole went down with that devastating UCL tear, requiring Tommy John surgery and knocking him out for the season, the mantle fell squarely onto Fried's shoulders. And for a while, he handled it beautifully. He dominated early on, striking out batters at a pace we hadn't seen in his career, showing a level of control and confidence that made it feel like the Yankees had finally found a true ace who could lead a team all the way through the postseason. But as the season wore on, that early brilliance was interrupted. It started subtly, with discomfort and challenges, small things that gradually snowballed. A blister on his hand, something that might seem minor on the surface, ended up throwing his mechanics off, affecting his grip and his command. Strikeouts dropped, walks increased, and there were moments where he struggled to find the strike zone. The hits started piling up in ways that felt uncharacteristic, and before long, Fried found himself in the midst of a rough stretch that seemed to confirm the fears of every fan who had been hoping he could carry the pitching load solo. By the time July rolled around, his earned run average had climbed to worrying levels, and every outing became a tense affair, leaving the Yankees and their supporters holding their breath, hoping for a glimpse of the ace who had looked untouchable earlier in the year. And yet, baseball has a way of turning around when you least expect it. Fried's recent performances suggest that he's reclaiming that form, that edge that made him a threat to any lineup. Against the Washington Nationals, he delivered a performance that reminded everyone why he's still considered one of the premier left-handed pitchers in the league. He went 7 innings, allowed only 1 earned run, and struck out 6 batters while walking just 2. It was the kind of outing that doesn't just look good on paper. It restores confidence, both for Fried himself and for the team that relies on him. The precision, the poise, the ability to work deep into a game without losing command, all of it signaled that the Yankees might finally have their ace back. And it isn't just Fried who is stepping up. The bullpen, which has seen its fair share of instability and surprises, is starting to show signs of cohesion. Paul Blackburn, newly acquired and entering a Yankees uniform for the first time in a critical situation, managed to close out the final innings with composure, giving the team another reliable right-handed arm who could go multiple innings if needed. It's the kind of depth that becomes essential in the grind of the season, especially when injuries have plagued the rotation and bullpen alike. With players like Blackburn beginning to settle in, the Yankees are gaining the flexibility they've been desperately seeking. The story of this season isn't just about individual performances. It's about timing and resilience. The Yankees have weathered injuries to key arms like Clark Schmidt, who returned only to face another setback with Tommy John surgery, and Luis Gil, who's pitched in just a handful of games since coming back. They've dealt with inconsistency in the rotation, with Marcus Stroman, Carlos Carrasco, and Alan Winnan all having moments where the results simply weren't there. Ian Hamilton had starts that were forgettable at best, adding to the sense of uncertainty that hung over the pitching staff. Through it all, fans and analysts alike were left wondering if the Yankees could ever find a rhythm, if the pitching would stabilize in time for the playoff push. Now, it feels like that moment is arriving. Fried is pitching with the confidence and control that made him an ace in the first place, and Carlos Rodon is following a similar path, slowly reclaiming his form and reasserting himself as one of the team's most reliable options. Rodon has shown that when he's able to focus and trust his mechanics, he can dominate, and recent starts have confirmed that he's beginning to find that consistency again. For a team chasing postseason success, having two top-tier starters hitting their stride at the same time is invaluable. The Yankees finally look like a team that can rely on its best pitchers to set the tone, something that had been missing for much of the season. Even beyond Fried and Rodon, other pitchers are making their mark. Will Warren has been delivering solid outings over the past few weeks, and Cam Schlittler has been nothing short of phenomenal. Schlittler's recent stretch, striking out batters with near-perfect command, allowing almost no earned runs, has been the kind of performance that can change a season, the kind of consistency that lets a team trust its bullpen in high-pressure situations. Watching Schlittler dominate the way he has, combined with Fried and Rodon regaining their form, the Yankees pitching staff is finally beginning to resemble what fans expected at the start of the season, a unit capable of carrying the team through the grind of late-season games and into the playoffs. And speaking of the playoffs, that's where all of this pitching depth becomes crucial. With the Yankees likely facing a wild-card scenario, they'll need their aces to be at their absolute best. Max Fried, for all the struggles earlier in the season, remains the go-to option to open a series. He has the ability to set the tone, to intimidate opposing hitters, and to provide the Yankees with a chance to seize control early. And with Carlos Rodon returning to form, the rotation suddenly looks like it has the firepower necessary to handle back-to-back high-stakes games. Even the bullpen, once a question mark, now has pitchers stepping up in meaningful ways, giving the team options that are critical when every game carries playoff-level intensity. The beauty of this moment is that it's not just about statistics. It's about confidence, it's about momentum, and it's about the mental shift that happens when a team finally starts to believe in its arms again. Watching Fried pitch with authority, seeing Rodon get back to his dominant ways, witnessing the bullpen find its groove. These aren't just numbers on a sheet. These are the stories that carry a team forward, the intangible shifts that can make the difference between an early exit and a deep playoff run. And right now, as the Yankees move closer to the postseason, it feels like those shifts are happening. The pitching staff, once a source of worry, is becoming a foundation to build on, a reason for optimism as the games grow in importance and the stakes rise higher with every pitch. As we dig deeper into the current state of the Yankees pitching, one thing becomes absolutely clear. The resilience and adaptability of this staff are starting to show in full force, and it could not have come at a more critical time. Max Fried's recent performances have not only boosted confidence in the rotation, but they have also sent a message across the league that the Yankees' pitching can no longer be underestimated. Fried's ability to shake off the rough patches that plagued him earlier in the season is the mark of a true ace. It's not just about numbers, though those are impressive. It's about presence on the mound, the command of his pitches, the way he studies hitters, the adjustments he makes inning after inning. Watching him settle into rhythm, dropping strikes, painting the corners, and attacking hitters with his fastball-slider combination, you realize this is the pitcher the Yankees envisioned when they invested so heavily in him. The one capable of anchoring a rotation and carrying a team through the grueling demands of September and beyond. Fried's resurgence also has a cascading effect on the other arms in the rotation. When one starter finds consistency, it lifts the performance of those around him. Carlos Rodon, who faced his own set of challenges earlier in the season, has mirrored this return to form, pitching with precision and poise that has bolstered the Yankees' confidence in their top-tier options. Rodon's outings over the past month have been textbook examples of how to regain momentum midseason. He's been attacking hitters with velocity and movement, adjusting to the strengths and weaknesses of opponents in real time, and his ERA over his last several starts reflect a pitcher who is rediscovering his groove. The Yankees, who have been navigating injuries, inconsistent performances, and a bullpen that has had moments of unpredictability, suddenly have two dominant starting pitchers who can dictate the flow of a game and keep the team in control, which is exactly what you need when playoff baseball is looming. It's impossible to overstate the importance of this timing. The stretch run in Major League Baseball is brutal, and teams that enter September with uncertainty in the rotation often find themselves in precarious positions. But the Yankees, now seeing Fried and Rodon at the top of their game, are entering the most critical part of the season with a renewed sense of stability. Fried's confidence translates into strikeouts and innings eaten. Rodon's regained focus means fewer runs allowed, and together, they form a backbone for a team that has been navigating turbulence all year. And when you pair these aces with relievers who are starting to show promise, like Paul Blackburn and Cam Schlittler, suddenly the Yankees have flexibility that had been missing. It's not just about filling innings. It's about strategic deployment, knowing that the bullpen can hold a lead, bridge games effectively, and allow the starters to do what they do best, dominate and dictate the pace. Schlittler, in particular, has been a revelation. Over his last several appearances, he's been striking out batters with remarkable efficiency while allowing almost no earned runs, a combination that is rare and extraordinarily valuable at this point in the season. When you see a pitcher like Schlittler step onto the mound and deliver performance after performance of this caliber, it lifts the entire team. Hitters gain confidence that a lead can be maintained, coaches gain trust in how they can manage the rotation and bullpen, and even the other relievers benefit from the positive energy that comes from seeing someone execute at an elite level. The Yankees have always been a team that relies heavily on momentum and mental fortitude, and having arms like Schlittler performing so reliably injects exactly that into the clubhouse. Meanwhile, the playoff implications of this resurgence are immense. With the Yankees projected to face a wild card scenario, every pitch matters more than ever. Starting pitching is not just about winning a game. It's about controlling a series, creating an environment where the team can dictate matchups, and forcing the opposition to adjust. Fried's ability to go deep into games while maintaining dominance means that the Yankees don't have to rely excessively on the bullpen, which has historically been a point of concern. Rodon's consistency provides a safety net, ensuring that even if Fried has a day where things are slightly off, the rotation remains strong. And with relievers like Blackburn and Schlittler capable of delivering multiple innings of quality baseball, the Yankees suddenly have a depth and versatility that makes them formidable in high-stakes scenarios. The timing of this resurgence is critical because September and October are when the margin for error shrinks to almost nothing, and having pitchers performing at this level is exactly what separates playoff contenders from those who fall short. Fried's return to form is also a psychological boost for the entire team. Baseball is as much a mental game as it is a physical one, and seeing a pitcher regain confidence can shift the mindset of hitters, fielders, and even the coaching staff. Fried's presence on the mound sends a message to the rest of the rotation. Focus, execute, and trust your abilities. It's a contagion effect, where confidence breeds more confidence, and it can elevate the performance of the team as a whole. When Fried and Rodon both take the mound with that kind of assurance, it not only improves the statistical output, but also enhances the overall team dynamic, creating an environment where the Yankees feel empowered and capable of overcoming challenges. On top of that, Fried's ability to strike out batters consistently and induce weak contact is a strategic advantage. It allows the Yankees to play defense differently, to position fielders based on tendencies, and to manage games in ways that maximize the strengths of the roster. Each strikeout, each ground ball, each well-executed pitch adds up over the course of a game and a series, tilting outcomes in favor of the Yankees. Rodon's resurgence complements this by providing another high-level option capable of shutting down opposing lineups. Together, they offer a combination of experience, skill, and mental toughness that is hard to replicate, and that is precisely what the Yankees need as they push toward the postseason. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Whispers have been circulating through the New York Yankees clubhouse following a startling revelation involving two of the team's young stars, Anthony VOLPE and Ben Rice. According to insiders, an altercation erupted between VOLPE, the promising shortstop widely hailed for his quick reflexes and burgeoning offensive prowess, and Rice, a pitcher known for his fierce competitiveness and fiery temperament. The precise cause of the confrontation remains unclear. Those sources suggest that it may have stemmed from a disagreement during a high-intensity practice session, possibly exacerbated by ongoing pressures in a season already filled with heightened expectations and media scrutiny. What began as a verbal exchange reportedly escalated to a physical confrontation, prompting coaching staff and senior management to intervene quickly to prevent further escalation. In response to the incident, the Yankees organization has taken the unprecedented step of suspending both players from team activities, at least temporarily, while an internal review is conducted. Rumors in the locker room indicate that the tension had been simmering for weeks, with teammates reportedly trying to mediate disputes behind the scenes without success. Some speculate that the clash is indicative of deeper issues within the clubhouse, with young stars struggling to balance personal ambitions with team cohesion, leading to a volatile environment where tempers can flare at any moment. Sources hint at a mixture of frustration and miscommunication contributing to the altercation. While official statements from the Yankees front office have been carefully worded, insiders suggest that the situation is far from simple and may have ramifications extending well beyond a standard disciplinary action. Anthony VOLPE, having established himself as one of the most promising talents in recent Yankees history, is under immense pressure to perform at a level befitting his early potential, and any perceived distraction or misstep can ignite intense scrutiny from both the media and the fan base. Ben Rice, similarly, is navigating the challenging transition from minor league standout to a reliable contributor at the major league level, and the pressure of establishing himself may have contributed to the emotional intensity of the confrontation. Teammates reportedly expressed shock at the incident, with many noting that while competitive disagreements are common in professional sports, a physical altercation between two key players is highly unusual and reflects underlying stress points that could affect team morale. Observers speculate that the Yankees' decision to temporarily remove both players from the active roster serves not only as a disciplinary measure, but also as a cooling-off period, allowing management to assess the broader dynamics within the team. Rumors in the clubhouse suggest that veteran leadership may be tasked with mediating a reconciliation or at least stabilizing the team environment, ensuring that tensions do not further compromise on-field performance. Analysts are already speculating how this incident might affect lineup decisions, rotation choices, and even the potential for future trades or adjustments, as the Yankees aim to maintain their competitiveness in a league where every win is crucial. The ripple effects of the VOLPE-Rice confrontation extend beyond the immediate clubhouse, igniting a firestorm of discussion among media outlets, fans, and former players, all eager to interpret the underlying implications of the incident. Some commentators argue that the altercation is symptomatic of the modern pressures faced by rising stars in a franchise steeped in tradition and expectation, highlighting the challenge of maintaining composure while under the constant scrutiny of national attention. Others suggest that the incident could serve as a cautionary tale for teams attempting to balance youthful talent with a need for mature leadership, emphasizing the importance of communication, accountability, and the management of personal rivalries. The Yankees, known historically for their strong internal culture, now find themselves navigating a delicate situation that could either solidify a sense of accountability or, if mishandled, deepen fractures within the roster. Rumors also point to potential reactions from sponsors and stakeholders who may be closely monitoring the team's handling of player behavior, particularly when incidents involve media-sensitive young athletes. Additionally, speculation abounds regarding whether the Yankees' front office might institute stricter guidelines for player conduct, aiming to prevent similar disputes from escalating in the future, while balancing the need to nurture individual talent. This incident, whether brief or prolonged, has captured the imagination of the baseball community, providing a narrative that intertwines talent, pressure, conflict, and the high-stakes environment of Major League Baseball. Amid the swirling rumors and conjecture, insiders reveal that internal meetings have been conducted with the coaching staff, veteran players, and the front office to determine the next steps for VOLPE and Rice. Reports indicate that while both players are cooperating with inquiries, tensions remain palpable, with teammates reportedly uncertain how to navigate the aftermath without further inflaming the situation. The Yankees organization appears to be weighing multiple factors, including the psychological well-being of the players, the potential impact on team chemistry, and the overarching objective of preserving a winning culture. Speculation suggests that if handled judiciously, this incident could evolve into a pivotal moment, fostering growth and mutual understanding between the two players, ultimately strengthening the team's resilience under pressure. Conversely, if mismanaged, it could signify a broader cultural challenge within the organization, where youthful exuberance and high expectations collide, creating unpredictable and potentially disruptive outcomes. Analysts have noted that similar situations in other franchises have sometimes catalyzed a renewed focus on mentorship and internal conflict resolution, prompting teams to implement more structured communication channels and leadership initiatives to mitigate friction among rising talents. For VOLPE and Rice, the coming weeks may prove to be critical not only in defining their reputations within the Yankees organization, but also in shaping their professional trajectories and relationships with both management and teammates. As every action is scrutinized and every decision carries weight in the competitive landscape of Major League Baseball. As speculation continues to mount, social media has amplified every rumor, creating a feedback loop of conjecture and unverified reports that further intensify the sense of urgency surrounding the VOLPE-Rice situation. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.